A very good afternoon to all of you. I hope I'm visible as well as audible. And for those who are joining us for the very first time, hi, I'm Sukanya and I'm your English trainer. And today we are going to look at the Hindu editorial with the perspective of English language. And we generally discuss high frequency words, we discuss idioms, foreign phrases, and also we take up one article which we, basically analyze. We also talk about the main idea, tone, all of those things. And at the end of the session, you guys get a quiz. So, people who are joining us for the very first time, I'm just kind of talking about all those things so that you are familiar with what to anticipate in this session. Okay. So, hi Neha, hello Amrita, good afternoon Aryan. How have you been? And if everything is all right, can we start with the session? Yes. Hi Naman. Okay, so I hope you guys are ready. And the first word of the day, the first high frequency word of the day is something that you guys must have seen many times before. And the word is glare. So, glare is actually a verb, and generally it has two meanings. I have only, I think, written a sentence of one of the meanings, but मैंने meanings दोनों भी लिखे हुए हैं. So, the first meaning of glare is when you look at somebody in a very angry way. For example, when your mother glares at you when you do something wrong. So, that is glaring, okay? And the second meaning is when there is a very strong light, so strong that it actually hurts your eyes. So that is also known as a glare. Okay. Hi Shashir. Good afternoon, Sia. Good afternoon, Samiksha. So we have already started with the first word, as you can see. So both the meanings are totally acceptable and okay, but you need to see, depending upon the context, which meaning fits best. Okay? In the passage, they were using it as the first meaning. Okay, so that's the reason I made a sentence out of the first meaning only. The woman glared at the protesters. Obviously, she looked at them in a very angry way. ठीक है, let's use another example of our own. I glared at my enemies. Good afternoon, Payocha. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. You've got a very unique name. Good afternoon. I have no idea what your name is. Life success, so please let me know. And you can also use it in your own examples. It's a very simple word. Use it as a verb, ed, ing. ठीक है? So Sanchit has come up with the first example. I glared at everything which hurt my dignity. Sanchit, we do not really need the usage of helping verb are in the second part of the sentence. And other than that, the sentence is perfect. Okay? The next one is a gamut. A gamut of something means the complete range or scope of something. How many of you remember हमने एक similar word इससे पहले वाले सेशन में डिस्कस किया था. By the way, gamut is a noun. And does anybody remember? एक similar word हमने discuss किया था which also means the complete range or scope of something. Let's see. By the way, I'm reading out your examples and you have come up with really wonderful examples. So the first example is by Aryan. My mom usually glares at me whenever I get to the clothing section for the 10th time. Of course, you deserve it, Aryan. And Amrita's example is I noticed someone glaring my neighbor's house. Okay. And Samiksha's example is the teacher glared at her as she walked in late. Yes, we have all been through that situation, right? I glared at my brother as he ate my chocolates. That was Payoja's example. And you guys have come up with really lovely examples. So kudos to you. Now, moving on to this word. And nobody has told me कि हमने कौन सा word discuss किया था. Do you guys remember purview? Purview also means the complete range or scope of something. So this is a synonym of purview. Okay, let's see how we can use it. The exhibition runs the whole gamut of artistic styles. That means every single thing that comes under artistic style is basically covered in the exhibition. Okay, similarly, My closet is a gamut of everything that's outdated. So that means everything that's included in my closet, it is actually dated. I cannot really wear it anymore. It's not trendy. Okay. So gamut का मतलब होता है the complete range of something. You already have the synonym purview. Okay. The gamut of constitution is unavailable. Very good, Sanchit. Great example. The next word is commensurate. And this is one word which is very frequently seen in, your practice mocks and your general passages. Commensurate का मतलब होता है something which corresponds in size, importance, quality. That means something which is the same level as something else. A is equal to B. It's like that. Okay. So commensurate is an adjective. Adjective hai to obviously it's going to talk about a noun or a pronoun in a sentence. So use it carefully. Okay. Let's see its usage. We offer a competitive salary commensurate to experience. यानी कि अगर आपका experience ज़्यादा होगा तो आपकी salary भी ज़्यादा होगी. ठीक है? It's going to be at par with your experience. Let's use another example. My anger was commensurate to his rude behavior. And another wonderful example by Piocha. Biodiversity refers to a gamut of species, of course. Yes, that's how we use it. Great. The next one is conundrum. Life is a conundrum, don't you think? Conundrum का क्या मतलब होता है? A confusing and a difficult problem or a question. So, how many of you agree that life is a conundrum? Obviously, you go through several ups and downs, isn't it? तो यहाँ पे भी conundrum का मतलब होता है a state of confusion because the problem is so challenging. So let's see an example. He is faced with the conundrum of trying to find a job without having experience. अब तुम ही लोग बताओ, अगर किसी को experience ही नहीं है तो उसको job कैसे मिलेगा? उसकी life का तो ये सबसे बड़ा problem या confusion होगा ना? ठीक है? The commensurate behavior is the cornerstone of successful human beings. Okay, very good example. And I know, okay, commensurate is basically something which is corresponding in size. इसका मतलब ये है, Sanchit and Sia, both of you, you need to actually make a comparison with something else. ठीक है? क्योंकि आप A को प्रूव कर रहे हो B के बराबर, तो आपको एक यहाँ पे कोई और एग्जाम्पल भी यूज करना पड़ेगा. Solution commensurates to the seriousness of the problem. Exactly, Samiksha. That's how we use it. See, Samiksha has compared solution to the seriousness. Ab samajh mein aaya? My life is full of conundrums because it is full of struggles. Is it true, Sanchit? I just hope that your life becomes smoother then, in that case. So, another example with conundrum. The big conundrum of my life is how to earn more than I spend, right? Sometimes we face conundrums while solving quant. I completely agree, Amrita. Very good example. Let's see the next one. And the next one is an idiomatic phrase. And the phrase is to tinker with. ठीक है? अब इस idiom का क्या मतलब होता है? When you tinker with something, you are basically trying to repair something or adjust something or work with something, but not in a serious manner. या तो आप बहुत अनस्किल्ड तरीके से उसको रिपेयर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो या यू आर ट्राइंग टू काइंड ऑफ डील विद दोज थिंग्स इन अ वेरी अनप्रोफेशनल एक्सपेरिमेंटल मैनर. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि अगर आप कुछ हैंडल करने की या मैनेज करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो बट यू आर नॉट रियली एन एक्सपर्ट इन दैट, ठीक है, you're doing it in an unskilled way. That is when you are tinkering with something. Okay, so let's see an example here. Every now and then my father would go to the basement to tinker with a gadget, but he rarely got anything repaired for the simple reason कि वो कितना भी tinker कर ले, इसका मतलब ये है but he does not have the skills to actually repair a gadget. ठीक है. My mother told me not to tinker with the broken television. Very good example. People often pay more attention to you commensurate to what car you are driving. Aryan, I think इतना real होना नहीं था. But what a lovely example. Great example. बिल्कुल सही. जितना आपके पास पैसा होता है उतना आपको attention मिलता है. तो I think that's the truth that we all have to encounter someday probably, right? So yeah, let's see another example. I don't like to tinker with things I'm not good at. जब मैं किसी चीज में अच्छी नहीं हूं तो मैं उसको रिपेयर करने की एडजस्ट करने की कोशिश करूँ ही क्यों. ठीक है, because the conclusion or the ending is obviously going to be unfavorable no matter how hard I try. So I don't like to tinker with things I am not good at. That means I am clever, right? I want to see more of your examples, by the way. Any word that you haven't understood that we have discussed so far, please let me know. I tinkered with old ideas in new ways. Great example. The list of philosophical and mathematical conundrums is endless. Wow, Samiksha, great example. So let's see the next one, and that is inter se, and that's a foreign phrase. When you see this particular foreign phrase being used, remember one thing, it means between or among themselves. ठीक है, कोई भी चीज जो एक ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल के बीच में हो रही है, there exactly you can use the foreign phrase inter se. Okay, let's see how we can use it. By the way, it's generally you might have seen जब भी हम foreign phrases discuss करते हैं, the foreign phrases are also adverbs when it comes to part of speech. So here also there is nothing changed. Inter se is actually used as an adverb. All species will breed inter se. All species will breed among themselves. Okay? They resolved the conundrum inter se their department. So I have used two high frequency words. They resolved the problem among themselves, yani ki among their own department. That's how you can use it. Okay? Let's see another one. Alacrity. I think you probably might have seen this word many times. क्योंकि मैंने तो खुद ही इस word को बहुत बार देखा है in the Hindu editorials, even in the Indian Express editorials. So alacrity is basically a noun and it shows your great willingness, your great enthusiasm or eagerness to do something. Generally, you might have seen the teacher's pet showing alacrity to do the teacher's chores. Yes or no? Aryan, what a hilarious example. I'm always there to tinker with my sister whenever she's in the kitchen, just to end up being a problem. इसके बाद आर्यन तुम्हें भगा दिया जाता होगा किचन से, I think. Discussion of the topic of CAA is going inter se. Exactly. The new policy will be inter se within the department. Yes, very good. So you are coming up with some great examples. Great. चलो, alacrity का मतलब होता है जब आप किसी चीज को बहुत ही दिल से करते हो. You are very willing to do a certain task. ठीक है? So I have given you the example of the teacher's pet. हर क्लास में एक टीचर्स पेट होता है जो जो भी टीचर बोलती है वो तुरंत खड़ा होके करने लग जाते हैं वो. ठीक है, so she accepted the invitation with alacrity. That means she was eagerly ready to accept the invitation, right? The cricketers play inter se to win the cup. All problems connected with inter se because it will be reasonable. Sanchit, no, 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 that's not how we use it. इंटरसे का मतलब होता है among themselves, तो आपको एक ग्रुप के बारे में बात करनी है. Okay. Let's use it like this. The team discussed the tactics inter se to defeat the enemies or the opposition team. Okay, we all are preparing for a CLAT and other exams with alacrity. Wow, wonderful example, Amrita. Exactly. The next one is a phrasal verb, mopping up. Can anybody tell me quickly what's the meaning of a mop? You might have seen your maid mopping the floor. You might have seen your mother also when she tries to clean the house, she mops it. So what's the meaning of mopping? तुम लोग भी मदद करते ही होगे अपनी मम्मी को शायद मॉप करने में. So what is the meaning of mopping? It means to clean a place with a broom. A mop is basically a cleaning tool. But here we are going to use it a little differently because it's a phrasal verb. We look forward to the picnic with alacrity. Yes, of course. Even sports day. Pocha. Exactly, Payoja. Exactly. So it's a cleaning tool. Serving to complete or put the finishing touches to a phase of a particular action. पर mopping up को हम कैसे use करते हैं? जब हम किसी चीज को finishing touches दे रहे होते हैं. Okay. For example, the artist was found mopping up his masterpiece. And who's going to tell me what's the meaning of a phrasal verb? हम हर क्लास में डिस्कस तो करते ही हैं एक बार कि what is a phrasal verb. She accepted me as a friend with alacrity. Exactly, Sanchit. So let's see its usage in another sentence. Michael mopped up quickly with his napkin. That means Michael gave the finishing touches to something with his napkin. Okay, so you can see it here, mopping up, adding those finishing touches. जब आप कुछ चीज खत्म कर रहे होते हो तो वो फाइनल टचेस जो होते हैं वही होते हैं mopping up. Okay, and the next word is assiduously. Anything that's done assiduously is done with sincerity. जब आप बहुत ही sincerely किसी काम को करते हो, that's when you are assiduous or diligent. Because this word ends with ly, so obviously it's an adverb. I might have told you this before also. 99% of the times when the words end with ly, they are adverbs, right? So let's see it here. She cultivated her friends assiduously into her old age. कोई मुझे इस sentence को explain करके बता सकता है? Legal edge teachers' teaching style mopped up our CLAT preparation in a good way. Wow, very good example, Sanchit. So यहाँ पे किसी को इस sentence का meaning पता है? See, as you get older, the number of friends kind of lessens, right? Aryan, you are so sweet. This comment kind of made my day, made my week. So I often choose other sources to spend my time preparing for CLAT, but whenever it's my Sukanya ma'am's class, somehow I want to be present with alacrity. That's such a sweet example. ओके सो इसका मतलब ये होता है जैसे जैसे हम बड़े होते हैं ना तो हमारे दोस्त कम होते जाते हैं और आपके सच्चे दोस्त जो होते हैं ना वो वैसे भी बहुत हैंडफुल ही रहते हैं सो दिस पर्सन शी कल्टिवेटेड हर फ्रेंड्स वेरी सिंसियरली इनटू हर ओल्ड एज इसका मतलब ये है कि द फ्रेंड्स दैट शी मेड बिकॉज शी वाज सो सिंसियर मेकिंग देम वो जो दोस्त थे वो उनकी ओल्ड एज तक उनके साथ रहे ओके So you should always be very careful in picking your friends. Company matters. आप लोगों ने सुना होगा कि we are the sum total of the five close people that are like that usually spend time with us. तो हम उन्हीं की qualities, उन्हीं के mannerisms, उन्हीं के तरीके adapt कर लेते हैं अपनी life में. That's why it's so important to choose your friends wisely. Okay, so assiduously is sincerely. I prepared for CLAT assiduously, right? It's time for the article of the day. And today also, like I found many people coming to me for this article, so I decided why not pick this up for the analysis. तो बहुत ही सिंपल सा आर्टिकल है, पर पता नहीं क्यों बहुत सारे लोगों को नहीं समझ में आया ये आर्टिकल. By the way, you can see it here. The title says closed and insular. What's the meaning of the word insular? We should always take decisions of our life assiduously. Amrita, we don't really need to use the preposition with, ठीक है? Because हम एक adverb की बात कर रहे हैं, right? हमारे friends तो teachers ही होते हैं. Okay, Sanchit. I'll actually tell every other teacher about this. If you guys consider us your friends, then definitely we are on it. So coming back to this, insular. The meaning of the word insular is when you are narrow-minded about something. Okay? Closed and insular का मतलब यही है कि you are not openly accepting something new. कुछ समझ में आया? So here we are talking about Portugal's parliamentary election results. इसका मतलब ये है कि कहीं ना कहीं people are not embracing whatever has happened during this Portugal's parliamentary elections. ठीक है? Also, you can see the subheading Portugal is not immune to the rise of the far right in Europe. ठीक है, तो देखते हैं क्या चल रहा है इस पर्टिकुलर आर्टिकल में. कितने लोग हैं यहाँ पे जो ऑलरेडी पढ़ चुके हैं इस आर्टिकल को और कितने लोगों को ये बहुत डिफिकल्ट भी लगा था. तो एक चीज याद रखना कि बहुत फॉर द लॉन्गेस्ट ऑफ टाइम Portugal has been a democracy and it has been a multi-party democracy and it has been working very smoothly. ये सब स्टार्ट होता है 1970s से और हमेशा से ये मल्टी पार्टी डेमोक्रेसी रही है तब से. तो ये बहुत सक्सेसफुल भी रही है व्हेन इट कम्स टू कंडक्टिंग देमसेल्व्स एज अ डेमोक्रेसीज. बिकॉज यहाँ पे तुम देख सकते हो क्लियरली लिखा हुआ है इट इज यूरोप्स मोस्ट स्टेबल liberal democracies. ठीक है? I hope everybody knows the meaning of a democracy, ruled by the people for the people, right? Where people pick their leaders, right? तो यहाँ पे बात होती है लेकिन यार संडे के जो पार्लियामेंट्री इलेक्शन रिजल्ट्स थे इट काइंड ऑफ baffled everybody. और इससे एक चीज समझ में आई कि नो कंट्री कैन रिमेन एन आइलैंड. आप लोगों ने सुना होगा कि नो मैन इज एन आइलैंड. व्हाट डज दैट मीन? And Aryan, yes, you are right. Unwilling to meet new people or new ideas. No man is an island का मतलब क्या एक इंसान अकेले रह सकता है for their entire life? Yes, Sanchit, right. हमें कहीं ना किसी की जरूरत तो पड़ेगी. ये समझना पड़ेगा हमें. ठीक है? तो हमें जरूरत तो पड़ेगी लोगों की. अब यहाँ पे यही बात हो रही है कि what we need to understand is this only that no country can actually remain an island. And this is in regard to the far right populist parties which are on the rise. ठीक है? तो prominently दो parties हैं पोर्चुगल में जो बहुत ही famous हैं. ठीक है? हमेशा से ही famous रही हैं ये दो parties. अब यहाँ पे पहली पार्टी है the Social Democratic Party and the second one is the Socialist Party. और हमेशा से ही इन दोनों के जो वोट्स होते हैं वो काफी कुछ सिमिलर ही होते हैं. दे ऑलवेज लाइक गेट सिमिलर नंबर ऑफ वोट्स. सो इट्स नॉट रियली अ बिग डील और बिग सरप्राइज फॉर एनीबडी क्योंकि हमेशा से ही वो इक्वल काइंड ऑफ वोट्स ही मिलते हैं दोनों पार्टीज को. बट दिस टाइम व्हाट कॉट पीपल ऑफ गार्ड बिकॉज दे वर नॉट रियली एक्सपेक्टिंग दिस. ठीक है? वॉज द राइज ऑफ अनदर पार्टी और इस थर्ड पार्टी का नाम है चेगा पार्टी. अब ये जो चेगा है इनको बहुत ज्यादा वोट्स मिले इस बार. एंड why it is so surprising for everybody because this party Chega is actually always talking about things in a very extreme way. ये चीजों को बहुत ही एक्सट्रीम तरीके से हैंडल करने में विश्वास रखती है. ठीक है. दे टॉक अबाउट टफनिंग अप द सिचुएशंस व्हेन इट कम्स टू इमिग्रेशन. इमिग्रेशन को वो बहुत ज्यादा टफ करने वाले हैं, ऐसी बातें करते हैं. देन दे आर ऑल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट थिंग्स लाइक controversial stuffs like you know chemical castration for certain criminals, and ye certain criminals are people who have committed some safe some sex offenses. तो ये लोग बोलते हैं कि इनको केमिकली कास्ट्रेट करवा देते हैं. आई होप यू गाइज नो द मीनिंग ऑफ कास्ट्रेशन. यस और नो? ठीक है, तो ये लोग बहुत ही एक्सट्रीमिस्ट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रखते हैं. अब सरप्राइजिंग फैक्टर तो यही आता है हमारे सामने कि यार लोग क्यों इन लोगों को वोट दे रहे हैं देन. Why people are actually agreeing with such extreme ways of thinking. ठीक है. सो ये इसलिए काफी लोगों के लिए बहुत ही सरप्राइजिंग फैक्टर था. तो अब पता चलता है कि पहले they were not really a big deal, but suddenly they got a lot more votes and became the third largest party in Portugal. अब बात होती है कि नाउ द लीडर ऑफ चेगा वांट्स टू टीम अप विद द अदर टू पार्टीज. मैंने बताया था ना कि स्टार्टिंग में दो बहुत फेमस पार्टीज हैं, एक तो सोशलिस्ट पार्टी है, एक सोशल डेमोक्रेटिक पार्टी है. So now the Chega party leader wants to actually team up with these other two parties so that they can also, mainstream the right-wing parties. But the leader of Social Democratic Party, he is not really in the mood to become friends. ठीक है, तो ये लोग नहीं चाहते हैं कि कोलिशन हो. ठीक है. एंड सो इट लुक्स लाइक द सोशलिस्ट, ये जो सोशलिस्ट पार्टी के मेंबर्स हैं, दे आर गोइंग टू बी इन चार्ज, क्योंकि उन्हीं को ही वैसे ज्यादा वोट्स मिले हैं. क्योंकि यू कैन क्लियरली सी इट हियर, टेकिंग द फॉर्मर टेकिंग अ नैरो लीड ऑफ 2058 वोट्स. तो सब लोग सोच रहे थे कि आराम से ये तीनों पार्टीज मिलके एक कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट पार्टी बनाएगी. बट socialist party is in no mood to actually join forces with Chega party. ठीक है. सो हम देख सकते हैं कि यही पूरा जिस्ट है इस पर्टिकुलर पैसेज का. अगर कुछ नहीं समझ में आया हो तो प्लीज लेट मी नो इन द चैट बॉक्स. I'll try to explain it. All good? Very good, Sanchit. So I think you have understood which two parties I'm talking about and the rise of the third party, which is Chega party. और चेगा चाह रहा है कि वो भी एक मेन स्ट्रीम पॉलिटिक्स में आ जाए बाय जॉइनिंग फोर्सेस. बट सोशलिस्ट पार्टी रेडी नहीं है इस चीज के लिए. ठीक है, क्योंकि ऑब्वियस सी बात है यार, somebody who believes in such extremist point of views, they can bring a lot of problems and commotion to the stability of Portugal. And Portugal हमेशा से बहुत स्टेबल लिबरल डेमोक्रेसी रही है. ठीक है, तो कोई भी नहीं चाहेगा कि उनकी जो स्टेबिलिटी है वो कहीं भी हिले, है ना. तो yes, that's pretty much the gist of the passage. Now let's see the difficult words which I have highlighted, by the way. Does anybody know the meaning of populist? इंसुलर का मीनिंग तो मैंने स्टार्टिंग में ही बता दिया था. नैरो माइंडेड. ठीक है, व्हेन यू डू नॉट एक्सेप्ट थिंग्स क्विकली एंड विलिंगली, सो दैट्स व्हेन यू आर नैरो माइंडेड. व्हाट्स द मीनिंग ऑफ पॉपुलिस्ट? सो पॉपुलिस्ट जो होता है वो कोई पॉलिटिकल पार्टी लीडर. ठीक है, let's see the meaning here. A political party leader, when he or she tries to actually appeal to ordinary people, वो population को appeal करने की कोशिश करते हैं. ठीक है, और जनरली उस पॉपुलेशन के पार्ट को जहां पे ऐसा लगता है उनको कि देयर कंसर्न्स आर डिसरिगार्डेड बाय एस्टैब्लिश्ड एलीट ग्रुप्स, यानी कि हम उन ग्रुप्स को टारगेट करें जिनको हमेशा से ही नेग्लेक्ट किया गया है. ठीक है. By the way, populist is also a tone, but the meaning of it as a tone is very different. Populist का मतलब होता है the general opinion of the people, okay, according to the tone definition. So basically, who is popular? हाँ, बोल सकते हो अमृता. लेकिन यहाँ पे देखो एक चीज समझो, we are targeting the minority because the minority is usually neglected by the elite groups. So there's a little difference there. ठीक है, who emphasizes the people's ideas, exactly, the ordinary common man. वो क्या सोचता है, वो क्या चाहता है, तो उसको those opinions should be voiced. So ये populist form of government वही होती है. Now the third word is clamp down, which is again another phrasal verb, and clamping down something means to take strict actions in order to prevent something. And let's talk about clamping down. तो देखो यहाँ पे कहाँ बात होती है clamping down की. वो जो कास्ट्रेशन की बात हो रही थी प्रीवियसली, ठीक है, that's when we were talking about clamping down. Castration of people is definitely a very strict legal action, don't you think? So that a crime is prevented in future. So that is clamping down. The next one is tarnished. When you try to tarnish somebody's reputation, you are trying to spoil their reputation. आप कुछ बुरा बोल के उनकी reputation को tarnish करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. You're trying to spoil the good opinion of people, okay, about somebody or something. For example, market में एक new brand आया है which sells fruit juice and I am a competitor. So I'll definitely try to tarnish the other brand by saying कि यार ये तो जूस की जगह पे they are adding some synthetic flavors. It's not really real juice. So that is me tarnishing their brand image, defaming. Exactly, Amrita. The next one is blunted. Blunt का मतलब क्या होता है? A sharp knife and a blunt knife. Blunt का मतलब होता है something which is not sharp. तो यहाँ पे भी when you're trying to blunt out something, it means you're trying to make it less sharp or you're trying to make it less strong. You're trying to weaken it. समझ सकते हैं ना अपन कि अगर हम किसी चीज को weaken करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, that means I'm trying to blunt it out. ठीक है? यहाँ पे the rise of Chega is being blunted out by the other two parties. Okay. The next one is grappling. When you're grappling with something is when you're trying to wrestle with something, when you're trying to have a fight with something. Okay. For example, I'm grappling with fear when it comes to quant section. My neighbors are trying to tarnish my reputation. Good example, Sanchit. ठीक है. So grappling का मतलब होता है to get hold of somebody or something and fight with or try to control him or her with something. So generally people grapple with struggles in their lives. Okay. And the last one is xenophobia. Phobia का मतलब तो सभी को ही पता है. Fear of something. But here, what are we talking about? The fear or hatred of foreign people is known as xenophobia. तो यहाँ पे Chega political party is trying to make an entry. And the other two political parties do not like any foreign forces to come in between. So उसी को ही बोलते हैं xenophobia, the fear or hatred of foreign people or cultures. Okay? Let's see what is the main idea of the passage. Who's going to come up with the two lines? Pakistan is grappling with falling economy. Yes, exactly, Payocha. So what was the main idea? Can anybody sum it up for me? First of all, we'll be talking about how Portugal has been a successful democracy since time immemorial. 1970s se, it has been very successful when it comes to maintaining stability in their country. ठीक है? But this time the elections were a little surprising. क्यों? क्योंकि जो far right party है, जिसका नाम है Chega party, they kind of won a lot of votes. अब बात यह है कि विक्ट्री तो ठीक है कि उन लोगों ने बहुत सारे वोट्स जीत लिए, बट प्रॉब्लम यहाँ पे कुछ और है, बिकॉज द चेगा पॉलिटिकल पार्टी एक्चुअली promotes very extremist point of view. Yes, exactly. The Hindu editorial English wala will be held from 2 to 3, between 2 to 3. Okay, so yeah, तो हम बात करते हैं यहाँ पे about the recent elections in Portugal caught people off guard as it saw the rise of a far right political party, Chega. The problem isn't the number of votes, but the extremism in their ideology, right? Exactly. Winning of an extremist party surprises Portugal. And people of Portugal have only chosen them. So obviously, what are people even thinking? The shift from liberal to extremist policies and parties and the impact on the country. Exactly, Payoja. संचित ओके फिर उसके बाद Chega wants to team up, but the Socialist Party is in no mood to comply because it means that liberalism will be replaced by extremism, right? So that can be considered as the main idea. What was the tone? Didn't you feel that the writer was a little concerned and also a little alarmed? Concerned and alarmed. You can also call it cautious at the current state of Portugal. ठीक है? Very good. Yes. So you have come up with the correct answer, Payuja. Moving to the quiz of the day. Okay. I don't know how many of you have already read this particular article. If you have, then let me know in the chat box. Concerning alarming can be, yes, exactly, can be our tone. So let's talk about what's going on in this particular passage article. बहुत सिंपल सा ही आर्टिकल था ये. इसमें बात कर रहे हैं about this court case in India where the Supreme Court will actually decide if the states are, allowed, state governments are allowed to actually create subcategories when it comes to schedule ये जो SC and ST जो scheduled caste and scheduled tribes जो होते हैं हमारे उनके जो जॉब रिजर्वेशन है क्या उसमें भी सब कैटेगरीज बनाई जा सकती है सो अभी ये जो डिसीजन है it's still to be taken and they are talking about this only whether they should be allowed the state government should be allowed to take this decision and the passage has also used Punjab as an example to make us understand कि how this issue actually propped up कि कैसे ये issue एकदम से light में आ गया and why it is so important to talk about something this important तो यही बात हो रही है इस पर्टिकुलर पैसेज में एंड इफ यू गाइज नो द मीनिंग्स ऑफ दीज टोन्स आई थिंक इट्स वेरी इजी टू decode what could be the tone of this passage क्योंकि मैंने ऑलरेडी तुम लोगों को समझा तो दिया ही है तो बताओ या आई नो राइट बाय द वे व्हाट्स योर नेम वी सो नाउ दिस टाइम इज गोइंग टू बी द फाइनल टाइम ये क्या है थोड़े से कंफ्यूजन्स हो रहे थे एंड आई एम श्योर दैट you guys must have also faced some problems regarding the time of the English perspective wala Hindu editorial analysis but from now onwards it's going to be 2 o'clock every day okay so make a mental note of it and yeah somber का मतलब होता है something which is wait let me write dull serious डार्क तो क्या पैसेज में ऐसा कुछ बात हो रही थी when you're resentful about something that means you express your regret so was the writer being regretful okay Vivek so I hope now I have made myself clear and anything which is tedious is again dull and boring and does anybody know the meaning of cognitional it means informational or informative What should be the answer? Because two of the words have the same meaning, so obviously both of them will be eliminated right away. Yes or no? Somber or tedious to eliminate कर दिया. Was the writer expressing his regret, or was the article simply informational? Exactly, relates to the processes of thinking and knowing. That means, obviously, when information can be processed and used in an effective manner. Saurav, मेरा नाम है सुकन्या. So the answer is cognitional. Very good. Absolutely correct. हमें सिर्फ information मिलती है about this intra-group caste variances. And the Supreme Court is still trying to mull over this to think about this problem. ठीक है? Yes. Moving to a new sense of urbanization. A new sense of urbanization that is dominating. तो क्या मेन आइडिया है इस पर्टिकुलर आर्टिकल का? तो हमें पता चलता है कि this passage primarily talks about the shift in urbanization trends in India, and it focuses on increasing emphasis on religion in urban development and infrastructure spending. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि अब जो नए buildings बनेंगे, skyscrapers बनेंगे, they will be first thinking about any places which have some religious importance. जैसे कि अभी, क्योंकि देखो सालों से जो अयोध्या वाला केस चल रहा था, वो भी इसी की वजह से था ना, क्योंकि वो एरिया जो था वो रिलीजियसली बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था. तो आने वाले समय में हमारे जो डिसीजंस होंगे, द प्लानिंग, द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वुड बी बेस्ड ऑन वेदर अ पर्टिकुलर एरिया होल्ड्स एनी रिलीजियस इंपॉर्टेंस, और उसी के हिसाब से हमारी बिल्डिंग्स बनेंगी उस एरिया में. इट ऑल्सो कॉन्ट्रास्ट द हिस्टोरिकल इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ मॉडर्निज्म. ठीक है, इसमें थोड़ा सा हमें एक कॉन्ट्राडिक्टरी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी दिखता है मॉडर्निज्म के खिलाफ, एंड ऑल्सो हाउ इन जनरल द इंडस्ट्री वर्क्स व्हेन इट कम्स टू एन अर्बनाइज, आप बोल सकते हो एन अर्बनाइज सोसाइटी और एन अर्बन सोसाइटी. ठीक है, तो हमारा एक ये इमर्जिंग ट्रेंड सामने आता है कि हाउ पीपल आर नाउ बिकमिंग मोर रिलीजन सेंट्रिक व्हेन इट कम्स टू अर्बन डेवलपमेंट. ठीक है, एंड बहुत ही करंट केस जो है हमारा, वो केस ऑफ अयोध्या जो हम सभी ने ही देखा. उससे सालों से हम इतने डिबेट्स कर रहे थे, क्यों अगर हमने पहले ही जब प्लानिंग चल रही थी उस सिटी की, तभी हमने देख लिया होता कि यार दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लेस होल्ड सो मच रिलीजियस इंपॉर्टेंस, तो इतने सालों से डिबेट चलती ही नहीं. ठीक है, सो दैट्स द रीजन this particular thought process has been incorporated in the upcoming आप बोल सकते हो programs, in the upcoming plans. तो बस यही पैसेज है. अब यहाँ पे बात करते हैं कि what exactly is the tone of the passage. So any answers? Was the writer being uncertain about anything? क्या कहीं भी कुछ uncertainty दिखती है? By the way, yes, you guys have answered it correctly. Both of you, Payoja and Sanchit, absolutely correct answer. The answer is evaluative. The writer evaluates a problem. That means he analyzes a problem. Absolutely. Melancholic का मतलब होता है something that makes you extremely sad. तो यहाँ पे कुछ sadness से related तो था नहीं. Exactly, emotional होता तो melancholic होता, but यहाँ पे कोई emotional decisions तो लिए नहीं जा रहे, बहुत ही practical, pragmatic decisions लिए जा रहे हैं, है ना. Choleric, I must have talked about choleric जब आपको कोई बीमारी होती है. Cholera is also a disease, right? So you generally tend to get very angry. Yes or no? So choleric means something that makes one furious. जब आपको किसी चीज से गुस्सा आता है, you are infuriated. तो यहाँ पे obviously गुस्सा आने वाली कोई बात ही नहीं हो रही है. एक बहुत ही आप बोल सकते हो unbiased तरीके से किसी प्रॉब्लम का solution ढूंढा जा रहा है. So it's an evaluative piece of writing. Yeah, you are generally frustrated when you are suffering from any disease. Sudden anger, emotions, exactly. तो मैंने इसीलिए कोलेरिक को कोलेरा से रिलेट करके आपको बताया कि जनरली बीमारी में भी हम बहुत जल्दी फ्रस्ट्रेटेड, एंग्री हो जाते हैं. ठीक है? Yes. Now, the task of the day for everybody, please, you can click a picture of this slide and then come up with your answer once you have read this article. Okay? And yes, evaluative is analytical. Hi, Kehkasha. Kehkasha, you are a little late to the class. We are basically adding the final touches to the class now. But not a problem. You can watch this session again later on. And thank you so much, Sanchit. अगर मैं तुम्हें ऐसा फील करवा रही हूँ तो आई थिंक दैट्स काइंड ऑफ द बिगेस्ट कॉम्प्लीमेंट दैट आई कैन गेट थैंक यू सो मच and I just hope that these classes are effective for you guys. बस अगर तुम लोग इस चीज को अच्छे से एनालाइज कर पा रहे हो समझ पा रहे हो बस हमारा जॉब जो है इट्स डन देन इन दैट केस so this is the question for you guys for the day please click a picture and mention your answers in the comment box I'll be looking forward to seeing your answers by the way लास्ट क्लास में जो मैंने आप लोगों को टास्क दिया था most of you answered it as ominous but no the answer is not really ominous so I would like to give you another chance think about it if it's not ominous then what could be the answer ठीक है so yeah that's it from my side everyone thank you so much for your time and I hope you have a lovely day and yes that's it from my side a very good afternoon again bye bye see you again thank you